Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. Well, I was a little early on that one today, but
Yeah, it scared me.
it is so my bad. But we have a awesome podcast for you guys. If you guys haven't heard of Answer the Call yet, it's the podcast where myself and Croncy come together, talk some Star Citizen news, maybe certain topics, and then we open up the Discord calls to you guys. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Little news we'll say quickly is I won't be here, which I mean, ding news. Which I won't be here next week, which is like makes it kind of impossible for Croncy to do it, I think, because I have all the scenes and all the buttons and all the things. So we won't have a podcast next week. I'm going to New Jersey. My cousin's getting married. She's the only
Oh,
girl
lovely.
in the entire family. So it's like
Yep.
and Italian family. So this is like a
Mhm.
massive deal, and everyone's making a
Yeah,
huge
yep.
deal about it. And she's marrying a cop in New Jersey. It's gonna be a absolute debauchery is basically what's going to happen. And I don't drink, I don't dance, so I'm just going to be sitting in the corner going, the meme of doesn't
Yay.
everybody know that like
Doesn't
that
everyone
guy?
know that I've got 980 quality refining at home?
Yeah, nobody knows I have 997 Dolivine in my
Yeah,
inventory.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's gonna be awful. But I'm so excited to
Yep.
see my family again because last time we were
Yeah, no,
there,
nice.
dad had cancer, blah blah blah. So it was like not the
Yeah.
best situation, and now it's like much happier, and it's all about happy. So that's great.
Yeah. Well, look, at
So
least
yeah,
in regards to no episode next week, I honestly think this is going to be a pretty slow coming week. Like we've just had this patch release, we've
yep,
had this ship that we're going to talk about. I don't
perfect
see
timing.
much else happening except for maybe like 2 weeks from now or something. We might see like an Evo test. Oh, actually, I think there was supposed to be
Oh yeah,
some
I
more Evo
I
tests.
saw a note of like item recovery Evo tests potentially.
Yeah.
But I don't know
So
much about it. Like it never happened, so
maybe
it
there will
doesn't
be some
matter.
Evo stuff, but when
I
there's
could
Evo
do
stuff, it's all talk. So
I could do that from New Jersey.
true.
Yeah, so it doesn't like I can bring the laptop, hop on, and check it out. So
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this week we have some things to talk about. We're going to talk Hull B. I think we've both used it,
Hmm.
correct? I've used it
Yep.
for like a few missions. I'm assuming you did
Used
too.
it all day today. Yep.
Oh, yeah. A little roadmap update. The Captains of Industry sale is something we'll cover for 30 seconds.
Yep.
And yeah, there's some cool 471 news with Rockbreaker. I
Mhm.
just experienced it just now. And yeah, I think that's all we'll really cover besides this weird drama, maybe not drama, maybe CIG is scummy, maybe they aren't scummy. CIG's done some weird things with buybacks recently.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that, see what you guys think about it. And that's kind of like the thing that people are complaining about this week, but it's
Yep.
mostly because there's nothing else to talk about because the game is boring. But yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, classic. But how have you been? I said my whole what I've been up to.
Mostly okay this week until about halfway through the week. The baby started to get sick, and then Spark got sick, and then now I'm feeling a little sick. I'm okay for today, but I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up really groggy. Uh, which is fun. Babies just love to get sick all the time once they start interacting with other babies.
Also, I think the whole world was sick last week. I've missed so
Yeah.
many streams. Emmy
Mm.
was, I was sick. My wife was sick. Like everybody was sick. Every time I talked to
Yeah.
somebody, they were getting over this and all the same symptoms. So I think it just like
Yeah.
we all got it. And
Possibly. And then
but yeah,
watched a bunch of the Artemis 2 stuff as well this week, which was
yeah,
very exciting and very cool to watch.
yeah.
Because obviously, last time they did something like this, they weren't exactly live streaming the entire process um, to Twitch and YouTube in the
They
60s.
were
So
just
not
to
to Twitch and
us.
YouTube,
Yeah.
just to yeah. So it's been cool to like watch that and just like be a part of that, which is yeah. It's cool. It feels like a really cool moment in time at the moment, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is, and we'll see what happens. And it was cool that it wasn't just America too. It was America and
Yeah.
Canada, and then hopefully, I think there's other countries that are. getting involved?
I don't remember what part it was, but I'm fairly sure Australia made the capsule. They either made the capsule or they made the other part of the craft. But like
Yeah.
Australia is apparently a massive, massive part of the
Yeah,
engineering for
Germany,
the
like bunch of
equipment
countries
as
are
well.
involved. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is cool.
yeah.
So
So, yeah.
nice. But let's get into some star system stuff. What do you want? What do you want to start with?
Mhm.
You want to start with the whole B?
I was gonna say roadmap. Let's get roadmap out of the way.
Okay.
Because once again, mostly stuff that we like kind of already know.
Yeah.
But at least confirmation that it's like 60% confirmed. You know what I mean? Like it's almost there, kind of.
They haven't we haven't
So
seen a really big thing fall off the roadmap in a while, I would say.
I am fairly sure the last thing that like fell off from being committed was mining missions. And then they ended up coming back anyway.
And then like
Although that was still like 2 years.
even tentative things like at the
Yeah.
way they're doing it now with the 2 months, and it goes really quick. Change my glasses.
You got to imagine their confidence that something is going to come out. What in this case next month or whatever. Oh no, this is the May. Yeah, next month. This is the May patch. Is going to be a lot closer than what it used to be, where they would like put things on the roadmap for the entire year. And it's like, yeah, all this stuff is going to be moved or bounced or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So tactical, like one thing that kind of caught me off guard a little bit is tactical strike groups before instancing, and I saw some people kind of be like, I don't understand why they're doing tactical strike groups before instancing. It's like, I just did Rockbreaker before instancing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They're just going to give you your own quantum marker. Nobody's going to be able to get to you. You do your thing. Hopefully the mission is fun. I don't know if I don't know what I want out of the missions and these kind of things anymore, because it was like when Wicklow was a thing, it was like, all right, there's going to be a Wicklow thing at the end of it, you know, and it was like, okay, that's my motivation to do this thing. With the crafting stuff, I don't like what reward is it? How are they gonna? That's kind of the interesting thing, is like, what's going to be the driving force behind doing tactical strike groups? Because it's not a big rock that you break to mine. Outside of just fun, you know, fun is one thing, but there always has to be that little motivation that drives player engagement. And I wonder what their goal is with this one. I'm curious. I'm not expecting it to be like nothing. I just interested in what they'll do.
I would love them to use this as the first way to get like a unique blueprint or something, as in like something that can't be looted anywhere and can't be bought anywhere. Type thing would be cool. But yeah, no idea what they're going to end up doing. And the rest of it, the QV extraction stations, that's just where these will be taking place. Excuse me. New hairstyles, these are in every single patch all the time. And then they mentioned the fuel missions that got mentioned in, I believe it was the monthly report.
Yep.
As well as like I think an SCL.
It's defend. You just kill a ship, and it's just like every other one. It's not going to feel exciting.
Yeah, you're just defending fuel tanks rather than what I was kind of hoping would happen of like you doing the refueling or something like that. And maybe that'll happen, but then the Kazar, whatever however you want to pronounce it, plasma grenade. So this also got mentioned in a monthly report. I think also was mentioned by Zach during a SCL. Yes, I'm very, very keen to see this. Yeah, just some more unique weapons that aren't shoot left click or the very boring frag grenade. Like, I'm still surprised we aren't using like smoke grenades and stuff. You know,
I'm surprised we don't get a smoke grenade before we get this, because the smoke just seems.
I think it's likely that the NPCs at the moment just wouldn't care if there's smoke and still just laser shoot you in the head.
Good point. Good point. It would only be used in PvP. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's cool.
Fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, all just like kind of figuring out what 4.8 is going to be, basically, and it looks like it'll be okay. But yeah, I'm very curious, like what the driving force behind missions will be in the future now, because obviously
especially
blueprints are a part of it, but
Yeah,
Can't be
especially
all of
something
it.
that like sounds like it's going to require like 20 to 30 people sometimes. Maybe not that
Mm,
extreme, but at
maybe
least
not
like
that much.
10. You know, like in the example they gave during
One solo
uh
Idris and
thingy.
two
Yeah,
people in a
I mean, yeah, probably that's what it's going to end up being, right? But like the
Gladius.
the way that they showed it made it look like it was like, yeah, you would have your Idris, you'd maybe have one other person on the Idris, you'd have multiple people in fighters, you'd have some people looking to board, and then it looked like there was like other ships also fighting you at the same time, so you'd also have people trying to fight those off. So it seemed to me more like, what if Xenothreat was like the Xenothreat original mission, not Xenothreat the faction, was like more in depth and more uh organized, I guess. That's the vibe I got. So when you have that many people doing the mission, how do you make the reward good enough for all of them?
Exactly. Yeah. It's something
Like
that they've
it
struggled
needs to be
with.
something new. It can't be anything they're doing now.
It can't be money because that has never been a good reward for
No.
the game currently, at least. I really
Yeah.
hope money becomes the reward that actually matters, but there's a lot of steps that need to happen before that.
Mhm.
Um Crafting materials don't make sense in the sense of like minerals, but other crafting
Yeah.
materials, unique
Mhm.
things might make sense. Um did they ever explain what was happening at these stations?
Sort of. We get so my understanding
I
is we
can't
get
remember.
called to them. We get called to them to help,
Yeah.
but then it's actually like, nah, we actually don't want to help you. We want to kill it. No, that was
That's the
the
regular
first missions that came out
QVs,
in
right?
Nyx. Yeah.
I don't know if we know the
No, I don't know if
motivation.
they do. They just show the big Vandal ship at the end.
Yeah,
So
like when we pull out
we
the
know
core,
Vandal are
we take it
attacking.
down, the Vandal are like, this location is exposed. We want to attack it. They clearly want to
Yeah.
attack it for a reason. Rescuing hostages, apparently.
I think
But then they one up us and it's like, there's nobody there,
yeah.
probably.
I need to double check with the lore, but I think because they've done a good job at trying. Well, they haven't done a good job at explaining it, but they've done a good job with making the lore of trying to make it like somehow related to the thing before it. And the whole like chain at the moment is Jorrit got the Vandal bodies from a faction. That faction is the faction in Nyx that we've been fighting.
Yep.
Right? They were the ones that got the Vandal bodies. The Vandal not too happy about that. Surprisingly, who would have thunk it? And this is like them fighting back, is my
Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
So
And
probably related to that.
could be, or chat saying something about military blueprints. That makes sense. But again,
That'd be sick.
is that that is a fine current way,
Yeah.
but I don't think we need to really care too much about the 1.0
Mm.
future. I guess it's not
Yeah.
super a super thing that's going to
Yeah.
happen anytime soon. What do you want to go into next? I mean, we got a couple options.
Let's get a bit more exciting. Let's go check out the Hull B.
Let's
The
do it.
actual Hull
I'll,
B,
I'll just put
not
behind the ships
the
on.
weird little insect this time.
Yeah, best cargo ship they've ever made, without a question, and not even close, in my opinion. This is my opinion, of course. It
Yeah, I'm
is
trying to think of if I
visually
agree or not.
is the closest to, like, how many times have I talked about, oh, it'd be so nice if we had a spaceship that looked a lot more like the cargo ships that we see in the real world. And
Yeah, which that's
this
supposed to
spindle,
be the idea of like the whole series, but the spindle does an even better job in this than it does in the
yeah,
other ones.
exactly. Like when they show the whole C, it's that plus sign right here is
Yeah.
is so far from what we're used to seeing on, like, traditional boats or stuff that we see in the real world,
Mhm.
that, like, when you brought the whole B in, it was like, wow, it looks right. They just like nailed
Yeah.
it. And it's so sci-fi and so not. And it's a
Yeah,
joy to
which like
work
that's my
with. It
favorite
was
thing about
nice.
things. That's my favorite thing about things like the mole and the moth, where it's like they've taken a lot of real world design and then
Yep.
sci-fied it to make it sort of weirdly not memorable. That's not the word I'm looking for. but like yeah, reminiscent of like real
Familiar.
life stuff. Familiar, thank you.
Yeah.
I do love it. I don't know if I think it's the best designed one, but I can't think of
Name a
one that
better one.
is better. That's what I'm saying. I can't think of at the moment one that's better, but it's certainly up there no matter what. Yeah, it's cool as hell. The size wise makes a lot of sense. This also is another one of those ones where it's like they clearly designed this with current gameplay in mind and how you actually use
Mhm.
the cargo grids and everything right now. To the point where we were having a discussion with chat. One weird thing about its shape is that like the cargo grid is like it's a diamond, but it's like very vertical. Like it's slightly like thinner at the top.
Mhm.
And we were like, oh, that looks a little weird. What if it was flatter? But if it was flatter, it'd actually be a lot harder for you to be on the ground and tractor beam stuff onto the grid. So I think that was a deliberate choice to make it
Yeah.
easier on us.
Absolutely, and it is easy. It was
Mm.
like super nice to work with. I'm gonna pause it here though, just to make
Yep.
a quick note. These bars, this was my only like, these
Mhm.
bars do block putting a 16 SU across this way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're
So
forced to do it the other way.
you can only
Okay.
go more than 2 SU this way. So that I was like loading everything up, and I had a 16, and I was like, oh well, I had two 24s, so I filled up here and I filled
Yep.
up here, and then I had a 16, and I was like, oh, I'll just put it across there, and it was like, it just slid down, and I was like, what? So yeah, these are
Interesting.
the grids are they have their limits, I guess.
Do you think that is a limit that should exist, or
No,
should they just let you Tetris it however you want?
who cares? Let me Tetris it however I want. It's
Okay.
not going to block the art. It's not going to, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
who cares? But also, it's not that big of a problem either, right? Because I just took my
Yeah.
16 and I put it down here. There's 512. It has
Yeah.
to fold. Yeah, it doesn't have to fold while I have the cargo on the grid, though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's a video game. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with it visually, and that's it. Like,
Yeah, it's very cool.
it's super useful for mining fleets, super useful for obviously just running cargo. My whole thing is I used it once. I don't think I'm going to take it out and use it again because I don't desire cargo missions. They're not fun to me. But I
Yep.
think if I ever, if what's being placed in that box on that screen right there is stuff that really matters, and that what matters is different for all of us, but this is the ship I'm going to use to do it, just because. Yeah.
Well, the way that I used it today feels like the perfect way to use it for me most of the time.
How'd you
with
do
the
it?
exception of like once we get like another big event mission or something, it'll probably be a good one for that too. But I was getting all of my minerals from all my refineries together and bringing them to my home location so I can start getting crafting ready. And it was great for that, right? It was very easy to like. I had to pick up from 3 different locations.
How much did
So
you
I had to do
have?
quite a few trips. Not a ton. Probably a total of like 60 SCU.
Yeah, that's what was like, use a whole A then, but why use a
yeah,
whole A when you have this? Because this is pretty.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I would still probably continue to use this for it because the amount of like difference isn't that much.
Yeah.
As in like of how much extra flight time and stuff. And so yeah, it felt great for doing that. Yeah, I'm into it. One thing that's
I don't
weird,
know, man. Like,
I
I
don't
can't
like.
stop looking at it. It's so
I
nice.
don't like that when you extend it on a like when you do the lengthening. The lengthening is cool. When you do that, when it's landed, it just slides along the ground. It's a great way to destroy landing gear. It's just kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else you do, but
it bounces a lot too. It's got like weird physics issues.
yes.
But like, holy, like, who would ever use this ever again?
Well, remember the whole point of the Caterpillar is
Modularity
to be able to put. Yeah,
it was never
Which you obviously
supposed to
wouldn't be
be
able
a
to do
cargo
anything.
ship.
yeah.
It was just we want to give you empty holes of modules because then we don't have to do as much work.
Yep.
And then it
Also,
literally
something
just
command
was the
module.
best cargo ship until the C2. You guys, can you chat, I need a little help. Everybody that's watching, need a little help here. Okay, I looked at the prices. Hull B, 280, 260, 280, depending store credit or not. Caterpillar, 295. Okay. Hull, or excuse me, C2, $400.
Yeah. Yeah, C2 is very, very overpriced. The thing is
down.
like it does. Well, the prices of everything needs to come down. But specifically with the C2, like you are supposed to be also paying for like the presumably extra armor, better weapons, all that sort of stuff that it has on it. But
$100?
no one is buying that ship for those things, right?
Yeah.
You're buying it for pure cargo capacity, and that's all you care about.
Yeah. Now the difference
maneuverability can be relevant, but like,
the difference between a Caterpillar and Hull B, and that is they move vehicles. Like that's supposed to be the thing. Yeah. But that price point is
that insane. Also just doesn't matter. Moving vehicles matters for some players. It shouldn't matter.
But they're
for the
all
price
RPing.
Of some of these, like it's RP or it's like racing.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, I was looking at the prices because I was like, oh, let me see how it is, because like 280 is an insane number to pay for a pixel spaceship in a video game that is not out yet, right? Like it's just so weird. But so I was like, well, you know, CIG has created a market for themselves. They're doing great at it. Who am I to judge in that case, right? Let me look at the prices of the ships with similar cargo. And then I saw C2 and I was like, it's that much?
Yeah, there was a big jump. Like when I saw the price of the Hull B, I was like, oh man, that's cheap.
Insane to think that, but it is. Yeah.
I was actually like, oh man, C2 dead. C2 now dead on sales.
It's cheaper than anyone C2 who doesn't and cheaper than the Caterpillar.
Tank, right?
So like,
yeah, you lose 180 SEU of cargo, but for $120, $130 less. And there's not many reasons like that cargo size for most purposes might as well be the same. Like that
also interacting with that cargo is horrible.
Yeah.
In the
like 690 and 510 or whatever it is, are actually really, really close in terms of what missions you can do, and like the realistic expectations from the vehicle.
Yeah. Now I'm seeing a lot of people mention the C2 you can move vehicles. Again, we mentioned that already, but is that like, are you really justifying the price to move a vehicle that vehicles are not viable things in the game at all? You know,
it's relevant for Jumptown that we had 18 months ago.
But is it more relevant? Like, or like, let's say Hathor is the modern day Jumptown, and it kind of is. Are vehicles on the ground more viable than players not in vehicles that can't be targeted via radar with a boom tube? I'd say no. And then I would say, is a player in a vehicle viable over a player in a ship? I again would say no. So it's just like, I don't know. So it's a tough one. I just don't see the $100+ price increase for things that are not $100+ more. Plus, look at this thing. Why would you ever buy the C2 ever again? But
I will say, boring paints.
The Misk really struggles because of the material choice that they made. Whatever the deal is with whatever they do with their art and the material choice. Anytime, you guys know I love my black paints, right? Flat black paints. Anytime you try to apply one on this material on Misk, it never looks black. It always looks like shit, and I hate it. So paints are really tough. Best paint for this one is the event paint, the industry captains of industry paints. Yeah, the United Resource Workers one. That's the only one that I like.
And I don't even like that. I like that it's got a logo on it, and that's about it. Otherwise, boring colors as well.
I like blue and white, but that's me. Like I like the holiday blue and white paints and stuff. So that one's okay for me. But yeah, the paints were not very exciting. I have to agree. I don't have them up. I can bring them up from the sale page if we want to
Yeah.
take a quick peek. But
Which that's basically all the sale page was. It was
yeah, it's all
it
lore, and
was
then
paint.
it's like, look at this. That doesn't even look black because it has that
Yeah,
metallic
the
to
like
it.
sheen.
Yeah. That I've never really enjoyed. The only time I've ever
Yeah,
enjoyed this scheme, and I think why they've always done it, was IAE paints that one year where
sure.
they were like black and gold and everybody loved them. And then I don't know if I never really got into them after that. This one, like, what?
Yeah,
What's look at the difference.
yeah,
It's like not that much. This is like I'm a B. So like I get this
yeah.
one.
But make like I would prefer if the whole thing was yellow.
Yeah, but the bees aren't entirely yellow. Their heads are black.
Yeah, but I don't care.
I know, I know, I
Like,
know.
I just want more bright paints.
And then this one, yeah, it's just the best
Yeah.
one. It's the best of a bad
Mhm.
group. Other things of note, this is definitely a solo ship once they fix the bug where you can use the tractor beam via the pilot seat. It's just a solo ship anyway. Like they in the show they talked about co-pilot and stuff, kind of making it implying that you would need to use the tractor beam for the co-pilot. Ooh, another thing, I don't have any footage of this. I don't know how it's done. One of my org mates sent it to me. The Argo, the little Argo cargo ship. What's the name
Yeah.
of it?
SRV? No.
The tiny one.
MPUV?
MPUV has the Atlas tractor beam now.
Oh, sweet.
So it pulls everything in
Interesting.
automatically and launches everything on top of it.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's like a way, like it sounded like there's like a sneaky way to do it. I was at my family's house when I got sent the message
Mhm.
and was like, whoa, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's not an April Fool's thing. I know for a fact that this has been an intended thing for years. How long has the Atlas been in the game? When I was losing my mind about the Atlas,
Early last year. But yeah.
yeah, like it's been over a year.
Early last year. Early last year. Yeah, yeah.
Because the Geo came in when Hathor came in.
Yeah.
And Hathor came in a year ago. So it's been a while. And
yeah, the regular Atlas was out like just before it.
yeah, like I know when I was arguing that like every tractor beam should work like this, somebody said that the intention was for this to have it, and then it just never happened. And now it's there. Maybe it's an accident or whatever, but
I mean, I still don't see much reason to use the MPUV, but it is good that it got added.
I can see it being used in space now and be used with like in line with a ship like this. Because that functionality with the maneuverability of a spaceship in the 3D space, like 6 degrees kind of freedom space, could be more
Maybe,
useful,
but would you bother, or would you just get on the ship's tractor beam, or just use a handheld tractor beam still?
That's the issue here. Is I
Yeah,
think the dedicated tractor beam is still so useful that it will always undermine these. And
I feel like you would only use it maybe with like if you had an Idris that you needed to get cargo onto from somewhere, maybe you would use it. But
yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna try and see if I like it, but like on paper, I still feel like I would just use the dedicated tractor beam. But God, scrolling sucks. So maybe I wouldn't. You know, maybe I wouldn't. And this is an Atlas in space essentially, so why not? But yeah, I really like the whole B. Just this is one of those like visually I like it. I think functionally I like it. And not I don't have anything bad to say except for that one thing about the 16 SCU vertically.
Yeah.
It was a little bit weird. But yeah, that was the only like negative note I had.
And also it just feels like a cargo ship. Anytime they do like these designs,
that's my big thing.
And it feels like what I'm trying to do. Which like I never got from, for example, the Prospector. I never got the feeling that there was a mining ship. It always felt like something
But
else
like
would be in.
the golem feels like a mining ship. The
Exactly,
mole
yeah.
feels like a mining ship.
Yeah.
Salvage ships feel like salvage ships. They look well, maybe not the Fortune, but yeah. Because that
Yeah.
look of mist, they call it like high end industrial, and it's like, shut up.
Bro, I
There's
can
no such
see the
thing, man.
limits.
Yeah, industrial stuff gets rust and beat up. Like, there's no such thing as high end. I know there's like Lamborghini tractors and stuff, but come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I guess we move on to
So we were talking about
4.7.1.
well, I was saying we were talking about the skin sales and stuff. So we might as well continue talking about them
Captains of
because
Industry.
that was the event that is happening this week. But it is a
Yeah.
sales event.
I think, like,
Which
can we
happens all
talk
the
about
time.
that for 2 seconds? I'm not super upset by something. Like, I was kind of hoping we were going to have an event of some kind or some mission or something. But if they want to
Well, I
do
thought
their
we kind of
little
already
mini
did, though, right?
IAE every once in a
Yeah.
while, like, who am I to say? Like, ship sales are not going anywhere. If they want to do their little mini IAE, like, go for it, guys. Like, have a great time. They got their little free fly going, and yeah,
Yeah.
who am I to bother?
I think it's
I'm gonna pick
it's
up a lot of
fine.
these
I do think
paints though. I got to make sure I do.
yeah. I
Use
think
some
it's
store
weird
credit.
that they typically don't do the big waves and stuff for like these mini sales, but they did put the Pioneer up for wave sales for this as well.
Yeah, bro. Imagine spending
So that's kind of
$100
interesting. That's a bit
on
weird.
2 Atlases. Imagine spending $100
Well, you
on this
always need
package.
to.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, if anybody buys that, get some help. Get some help.
We'll say while I don't like the paint, it does look good on the mole and the raft.
Yeah, I think I'm legitimately gonna get the package. I think.
Yeah.
The entire package, because that's my org colors right there, pretty much. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard not to get something like that. But yeah, so that's that. It's just a little paint / industrial ship sales / free fly. So nothing crazy going on there. A lot of people were asking about the free flies. When does it start? All that stuff, and hopefully they're enjoying it. Servers seem to be okay, but
they were okay today. But apparently, like all the Asia servers 30K'd at the same time while I was playing today.
interesting.
Which is interesting. Also, just because we forgot, the other vehicle that got released was the Grey Cat UTV, which not a lot to talk about it because once again, as we mentioned while we were talking about the other ship, not much for ground vehicles to do at the moment. It's basically an STV that has cargo. And at least from the racing perspective, my understanding is that it's basically an STV but way better handling.
Okay.
So that's a little interesting, but
the interesting part that I see is like with crafting, with dismantling, you know, if we start seeing what some of the things that they said they want to do, like NPCs having guns of higher quality, like you might find them in loot, then, you know, obviously going to a bunker that has turrets, the vehicles don't get shot by the turrets. Now you have a little container that you can put guns in, and it might be a might be a useful thing. I would never spend money on this, but I think you know, one of the only ground vehicles I ever had a maybe thought of, like, maybe there's a point to this when it came to that. So who knows? But $35, you're not going to see me spending any store credit or anything until it's in the game, right?
Yep.
Somebody says Mad using Nursa. Can they hold SCU like on a grid?
I think on a grid.
Yeah, so I think having the grid
but
is like
you could
I don't
still
know.
like fit it in, and that it would just bounce around everywhere and blow up the vehicle.
Yeah, that I'm kind of weird where I've never put cargo off grid. There's also the mule too. That's right. The mule does the exact same thing. This is just a different mule.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So who cares? It is.
There's
again,
nothing like new.
This is their
about
mini
it,
IAE.
really.
This is their mini IAE. This is their token. Their whatever upgrade token. They always do those in IAE. There you go. Right. So it is what it is. What else do we got?
So let's do patch release and talk a little bit about that, and then also have you talk about your experience in Rock Breaker.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead. You can start.
biggest thing for me, so like, yeah, patch release happened. Mostly it was just the the new vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me in this patch is there was like no database removal at all. Like everything copied over, including all my materials, all my refinery jobs and everything. Which like that's a little exciting. Well, not exciting. That's a little bit of a worry off my head of like every single time there's a patch I'm gonna have to panic, right?
Yeah, like refinery jobs stuck around. That's a 1st.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even
Yeah,
realize
all
that.
my refinery jobs stuck around. Because I was panicking when the patch happened. I was like, oh no, I haven't picked up any of these, and they were fine. They were all good.
Did they mention
So
here
it was
in one thing I've noticed, like Satyrix now has quality. So for people who are
Yes.
looking to make the Volt Sniper, you're now able to. So
Mhm.
that's pretty sweet. I was unable to do the gamble roll of my 0 quality Satyrix to make it not 0, so I just turned those into mirrors. But I did find 600 quality Satyrix today.
Sweet.
Yeah. The big, and again, that was like the big thing for me was they updated Ceruleum material composition and quality chances within the Rockbreaker dungeons to improve mining investment returns. Because the big complaint was like, dude, I'm going there and I'm getting the best I'm getting is 700 quality, and they're talking about being generous. Remember, we were kind of giving them shit about saying they were generous. Well, I think they were probably talking about this, and we just didn't know it yet, right? We thought they were talking about 4.7. They were talking about 4.7.1 probably. They're generous, guys. Like, they're actually being probably too generous. There is a guarantee minimum spawn is over 650, I think.
Okay.
And then the max, there's a chance of a minimum 850 plus. There's a chance of that. I found a 913 or something. I found 2 800s and countless 750 pluses. So that's good for the now. I do have my concerns about the future of like, let's not make changes, like big swinging changes for like quality and how much we see before making the big swinging changes like we lose our gear. Because again, we talked tons about this. Like I would totally mind 600 quality gear if that was my like day-to-day gear, you know, like that would. So let's see what happens with that first before we make any swinging changes. But I think for the current experience, for the current game that we're playing today, man, it felt so good. It was like, all right, I did a bunch of stuff. I got downed one time, you know, like there's a lot of NPCs. By the way, servers were not great, but the NPCs absolutely cracked. Like turned a corner and they were shooting instantly. No delay at all. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so like makes sense for the game. It feels really good. No difference between PvE, between exclusive and open. They're the exact same things. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's all I got that there. So like if you were kind of like, I don't feel like doing this. I can't think of any guns off the top of my head.
Now.
Yeah. The other thing is
mostly armor, right?
No,
so it's like
no Taurite. It was just Ceruleum rocks.
Oh,
there's Taurite in the Ceruleum rocks, but there are no Taurite individual rocks. It was all Ceruleum.
Same amount of
every
rocks?
note. I think so. So you know when you come across
that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. You know when you come across like a Dolovine node and there's like 15 or 20 things, and usually find one that's like this is worth getting out for.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like.
Yeah,
so it feels a lot better. I feel like gems feel good. I feel like ore feels bad, and they kind of made the ore feel a little bit more like gems. But yeah,
interesting. Very interesting.
Yes. Quick subscriber promo.
Sure.
Yeah, like super fast. This is all it is. I think it's more worth than mentioning than anything, because now that we know, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, a purchased weapon will not break. A purchased armor will not break, and there may be ways to recover it from low damage,
Degradation.
so pay to win. Officially now. You can't argue against it anymore. So you're paying to not lose this gun over one that could be crafted in the future. But what will the quality be, and so on and so forth. So there's
Yeah.
real conversations to actually be had about this now. Just not today,
Mhm.
I don't think.
The one thing I want to mention is that helmet and then the other helmets that have that little
The
skull thing
wiggle,
have created a very fun bug
the
at the
wiggle.
moment in live, where it's like, so yeah, the helmets are supposed to wiggle, where it's like you move and then the skull does a weird little like bounce, but that's now causing when people take off their helmet, their actual faces to start doing that. So the so the face starts moving around all over the place as the head only moves slightly.
Super
Um,
funny.
yeah, yeah.
I saw somebody in chat say I'd be happy if they just gave us the case. Me too. They didn't need to
The
give the
case would be
gun.
sick.
Yeah, case would be cool. Just something like to store your stuff in at your home location. It'd be totally fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be much more likely to decorate my hangar if I could do stuff like that.
Hell yeah, right? Weapon cases, you put the weapon in it,
Mhm.
be sick.
Yep.
Anything
Buybacks.
else? Buybacks, yeah,
That's
that's right.
yeah. So
The drama.
buyback drama. Over the course of the week, people realized that some of their old packages that had Squadron 42 in them could no longer be bought back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that apparently is let me zoom into this. Whose Twitch chat was this in? So I can give them credit, guys. I saw this on Reddit, so I'm not sure whose Twitch chat it was on. But we'll give them credit that there was CIG dev there. I think that always Loken plays. Okay, so that always is like CIG devs. We'll watch that stream. So and if you find information, it's kind of like help promoting that streamer. So I feel like it's the right thing to do. C Daddy CIG, don't know who this is.
Apparently, this person deals with the buyback system quite a lot from CIG.
Yeah, he literally says in the second thing there, I would be the one disabling them if they were disabled, and I don't know anything about this. But they have disabled, like, where does this come from, right? They have disabled buybacks. They are disabling buybacks. So, for us to not freak out about this and like Squadron 42 is coming, they're making changes to the packages, maybe. Like it all seems like maybe he doesn't know, maybe, but it would be bonkers and borderline that they would get sued, I feel like. If I purchased Squadron 42 and they removed the ability for me to get it and play it.
I don't think.
And then I have to buy it back for
not
more.
I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think.
No, neither am I. I'm
would,
guessing.
I don't think they would be able to be sued for like if you've traded it for store credit and then tried to buy it back and then you can't. I don't think that would be a thing, but it would be just a problem in general.
Yeah, maybe not if it's
because
melted,
a lot
that's
of
true.
like
they're the only ones who allow us to do this melting thing, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And but they should.
But
because they haven't released the game in 14 years, so fuck them.
Yeah, it would not be very player forward to like something that got brought up in my chat a lot was like a lot of people traded in their squadron packages and stuff because the game is not here and it's still not here and whatever, but they could trade it for a ship that had just come out or whatever, right? And actually play the game now and then eventually go for it back later. So there's probably a lot of people that have just had that mentality. Yeah.
Here we go.
So then the question is like how true is this, right? How true is that it was only supposed to be the physical buyback stuff? Because 100%, I don't think you should be able to buy back physical stuff, especially because some of those things involve like a CD release of Star Citizen.
Yeah, like in
right?
that post, he was like
that's all realistic.
Yeah, like that makes sense. But this is the one that people are like pointing to, right? Squadron 42 add-on and add-on packages will not be able to be brought back. So
yeah, so
like I get it, the physical one, because like they
100%.
they were like, all right, we're gonna have this much, we're gonna make this thing, and we'll be done with it.
Yeah.
But Yeah. And discounted combo packs can be bought back, just not with the discount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
So it's a weird one. th- I, I'm in a mix of like, does this mean that there's some squadron stuff coming, or is this something else? I'm
If
not
there's not
sure.
squadron stuff coming, like there has to be, because
Well,
they
it's
have
not
to
not
communicate.
that there isn't squadron stuff coming, but like that this would be a tell. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if this is necessarily related
I think
to
it's
anything that's
definitely a
actually
tell.
squadron related.
I think it's
Right.
absolutely a tell because they're messing around. Somebody is getting their little fingers on those
Mm,
packages. Whether this is the intended result of what they were going for, what they were trying to do, remains to be seen. But
yeah.
they were fiddling around with them clearly. Like, I don't think things like this just break. So, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting for sure, for sure. But uh I think people are overreacting a little bit? No. Because if this sticks, there should have been warning. If you do this without warning, as a company, you suck. So if this
Yeah.
is the warning and you want to roll it back and say, hey, we're going to be doing this eventually, or we're going to be doing this in a week, you better buy back your Squadron 42 packages. Thank you, by the way, so much, everybody,
Mhm.
for, you know, backing Squadron 42 and allowing us to take 14 years to make it.
Yeah.
Go get your packages and enjoy it and play it. If they don't do it that way and they do it without saying anything, then it's like, oh, sorry, bitch. Now you got to rebuy it for 75 or whatever they're going to charge for it
Mm,
instead of the $15 that I paid for it.
yeah.
Right? And that's fucked up. That's the part that's fucked up. Now, if I can just use my store credit and I'm still able to get it, whatever. But like most of us have, I don't want to say most of us, but way too many of us have way too much invested here. It does. You can get rid of
Mhm.
one ship that you don't like and get your Squadron 42 package and you'll be fine. But
Yeah.
in reality, what's morally right is to just give us some heads up. If this is your plan, just give us some heads up and everything will be okay. Um,
Yeah.
but it does sound like it was not done on purpose, and we'll just have to see what happens here.
Yeah. That Twitch chat seems
Yeah,
very like, if it really is his responsibility to like turn those off and he didn't know anything.
yeah,
Yeah. Something else happened.
exactly. It doesn't sound like it was an intended result of anything. So just trying to clear that up as much as possible. I haven't
Yeah.
messaged any CIG people. I just heard about it today. I can reach out and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's really all I got. So I don't know if we want to go to some callers and
Yeah, I think that's the strat. There's not much else to talk about this week because it was one of those weeks, for the most part. So, if you guys want to call in, make sure you do. Go into the description below if you're ever on YouTube and go to the podcast, go into the green room, and you can chat about any of the topics that we discussed today. Except don't do it today because we already have a full room.
yeah,
If you are watching here over on Twitch, you can go !podcast and follow the link there.
yeah. And our first caller is Sharkbite.
Morning,
So
guys.
good morning.
Odin Shock.
How's it going?
Good.
Good,
I'm a little
good. What do you
sick.
want to talk
I've
about
been
today?
feeling sicker and sicker as the pod goes on. I'm not looking forward to
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 hours
He's
from now.
going
Like
down
3
in
hours
this
from now,
chair.
Yeah, I'm starting to slap
Honey
down.
and tea, dude. Get it warm up now.
Yeah, true.
Um, so I think my biggest gripe this week is that we really need a reputation stat or something
Mhm.
soon because twice this week this happened to me. I paid someone to come mine with me. I paid them very well. Like, I know the economy's screwed up and whatever. Like, a couple 100 million to come sit in my mole turret so that I could break a rock because I was out solo. And then the first time they sabotaged my mole, and then we got distorted. They had turned off the shields. We got distorted because they called in their buddies. They left the party, and then they took our quant rock and all the other stuff that we had mined.
I'm
The
sorry for
second
laughing,
time,
but it is funny.
no, dude, it's second time. Someone who I have had on my friends list for over a year sock
Yeah.
puppeted me, put an alt in my ship. This is the only way I can think of that this happened. And then use that guy as a beacon to find me and take all the stuff that I had mined, waited until after we'd mined it. Then same thing, showed up in a cutlass with all distortions,
Yep.
blew up the ship, took all the stuff, tractored it off. I killed 4 pirates. They had to come back twice, and I only got off with one of my ore pods and lost everything else. And it was like an 894 tungsten rock that I had found, and I'd been looking
Yep.
for tungsten all week. And
Yep.
so yeah, I was pissed. There's literally over 10 hours between trying to get people together, get people into the ship to the right place, jumping through the jump gate 5 times for like 3 different people,
Hell
because
yeah.
it kept failing. Yeah.
You need
So
better
that,
friends. You
Now
need a
listen,
reputation
I
system.
don't
You need to
know.
judge a character.
that
I'm, I
sucks.
just trust people when they say they're going to do something.
Yeah, don't do that.
You
But
should do that.
I paid them.
it
I know.
doesn't matter. That
I
sucks.
know.
But when was the last time we heard any caller come on this show and tell a story like that? Oh yeah, it was never.
No,
So
it was an adventure
there's
for sure.
there's something to that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, in hindsight, like I over the last day and a half, I made up for it in some of the stuff that I found. But that was just, I was so pissed. I got off twice and just didn't play for half a day or whatever, which again, like that, the game's good right now.
Mm.
Even I think this is the best I've seen performance during a free fly too. When people say the servers are bad, they're like mid bad for a good patch last year,
Yeah.
not like
Mhm.
anywhere near free fly.
I haven't had any
Um,
real major server like where I was like, oh, this
I
is
had problems
horrible.
the day. I had problems the day of because I was trying to play off stream, but that was
Oh
it.
yeah, day of was a little sketch, but I've
Yeah.
seen some people complaining about some inventory lag. I've seen some people complain about like, oh, their interaction thing, they lost it and had to
Mhm.
Alt F4. There's a workaround for that. If you open your Moby Glass and try to interact with something through it, like a panel or whatever, you can get your F interact back. Um, and then I think the last thing I have was if they I like how they did the whole B dashboard, how it's more condensed.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
You don't have
Pessimist
enough to
cockpit.
have like a king size bed on your dashboard.
Yeah.
I hope they rework the tack when they do the build to look like that, and probably like the whole scene, whatever too.
Yeah, all
'Cause
missed
that's
ships
a
should
major
probably have a
improvement.
cockpit like that, in my
Yep.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
All right,
yeah,
Shark.
and I have fallen in love a little bit more with it's the Asperia um Prowler
Utility?
utility.
Yeah, utility's
I
good.
used that. I used it to extricate all the ore and everything I had in Pyro.
Mhm.
Had all of it in 4.8 SCU boxes, and then all the extra stuff I stuck in the aisle in its own little 1 SCU boxes. Uh,
Mhm.
I got my scan range down to like 3K before you could lock, and I was
Yep.
able to not get detected and fly all the way all the way through Pyro and all the way through Stanton without getting picked up. So,
I've done some
and people have been
serious
interdicting Crew L1.
I've done some serious stealthy with a Golem Ox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Nice.
Like 300 is what you.
Nice.
Yeah. So I like turn everything off and get
Mm.
super
Yeah.
stealthy. But all right, Shark. Sounds like we're done.
Hey,
But
you guys take care.
you too, man. Good call.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
too.
it. Sorry you
Have a
got
good one.
pirated, but yeah.
Hey, yeah, it happens.
About time there was a good story
Cheers, mate.
in this
Yeah.
game. Catch ya. Our next is Warbot Nix. Warbot, can you hear us?
How we doing, Wobot?
Oh, hello. One moment. Let me make sure the dog is quiet. All right, we're good.
Lovely.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
How yourself?
It's been a blast actually. Been enjoying this update. And I'm glad that like a lot of my org mates did come back and we actually had to sit down and have a discussion of what we want to do now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm glad that a lot of the I guess you could say the dungeon content like the Yormandi the Yormandi eye farming, Hathor, QV station, just there's just so much to do now. And there's a bit of a end purpose finally to get to use
Mhm.
those items for.
Yep.
And yeah, I actually started content creating again. Um,
Nice.
started the grind,
Mhm.
and overall, I have to say that I think for once, I feel like this is a good time to finally say I can recommend Star Citizen to
Whoa, whoa,
cautiously
whoa.
optimistic.
Whoa, slow down, buddy.
I know. Yes.
You keep
Wait,
going.
what
I
did I
was
do?
just trolling. I'm just trolling.
Yeah, because up until I think last patch, I'd be like, here is my 48 page disclaimer before you touch this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's here's 10 pages and then go have fun.
I would
Yeah.
also dare not let anyone ever play without me like hand holding them through the first session.
Oh, first
Yeah.
couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have noticed that there's been a growing amount of content creators from other games and variety streamers starting to check this game out.
This has happened before.
And
This happens all the time.
yeah,
This has happened before. The last time I remember it happening was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was during an Invictus, and everyone was playing the game. Every big streamer was playing the game that you can possibly imagine. And it was during Invictus, so it was fucking like you think
Awful.
free flies are bad now? Free flies like 2-3 years ago. Oh
Were
dear
horrible.
God, right? And it was I
Oh,
think it was
yeah, I
also
remember
Invictus
those.
at Orison too. So it was like before any graphical fixes and stuff. So
Mhm.
it happened. It's happened before. It comes in cycles. I think the big thing about like creators and the wider gaming audience jumping back on Star System will obviously be a Squadron though. I don't think any of these I don't think they advertise these patches enough to even try to entice the greater gaming community. You know.
No, not yet. Which actually brings me a curious thing. I have seen Chris Roberts has been popping in to
Mhm.
like small interviews lately, mostly on Australia.
Yeah, because
And
that's because he was down here, and I've talked about this when he was down here. I think it's
Mhm.
just because we don't have much news. Actually, I originally said that it was because he's trying to start the Squadron media tour, and that might be true. It might be the start of it, getting used to it and everything. But I think actually we're just a really boring country where nothing happens, and so we hear about this guy with the $1 billion game that's never coming out, and we're like, oh man, we gotta interview that guy.
I think it's because he was like on vacation and there was nobody to lock him down and prevent him from doing interviews that he shouldn't be doing or something. Like they
I
don't
wouldn't.
want
Well,
him
actually,
out there,
but
spoiling.
Xylo was there as well, and I would actually
That's
argue
true.
it's probably more likely that Xylo started booking some of these people
Fair enough.
and got it hooked up.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will see they're
Yeah.
doing something in Vegas soon.
This is the thing we all think
yeah,
we're going to
level
hear
up.
Squadron 42
Yeah.
and
Level
so
up, I
on.
think.
Do we know
Level
when?
up, yeah. Uh,
24th, I think.
Of April?
Level Up Expo is
Yeah. And
April
then
24th.
Gamescom's in May, right?
August?
Or am I getting them?
No, Gamescom's like May or June. No, sorry,
Okay.
no.
It's
Summer,
late
Summer
summer.
Games Fest. Summer Games Fest is May or June.
Yeah.
Which that
Gamescom
is where
late
I
summer.
am expecting something. I am expecting something Summer Games Fest because just in the last like maybe 4 or 5 years, big announcements at Summer Games Fest. Like the newest Fable got announced there.
I can't wait for
yeah,
that.
all sorts of games.
I love
Yeah.
Fable, man.
Oh yeah.
Bro, Richard Iowade in a video game. Let's go. That'd be so dope. Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, them going to Level Up Expo. That is a normal person expo, not a Star Citizen specific one. So yeah, it probably means
Yeah.
more than the past few years.
Yeah, there's no team
Yeah,
in LA
hopefully.
anymore. Like there's no
Yeah.
we just drove over to LA, to Vegas, you know. This is a they flew there.
Yeah, they better get a move on soon because we are reaching that whole entire end of year like marketing campaign needs to start like now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of the buyback situation, I actually encountered that issue before Squadron 42. So there are game packages where I had trouble buying back. Some of the
Yeah.
past Invictus packages like can't be bought back. And I'm just wondering maybe if there was just a change in the item like referencing. So basically the system's like, hey, Squadron 42's item number or SKU number has changed and we can't find the database. We can't add that back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe
So
something in the back
that's
end.
my best guess.
Wasn't there was
Yeah.
I swear I remember us talking about a couple of weeks ago, like an actual change to buybacks that happened that was deliberate. Um, I forget what it
Oh,
was, but maybe
me
when they were
too.
doing that, whenever they were doing that, maybe it like bumped something wrong.
They let us
Mm.
know, but they gave us the warning that on
Yeah,
this
but I don't remember what it
day,
was.
you will no longer be able to buy back this thing. Oh, the
I
Auroras.
don't.
Yeah, yeah,
Was it the Auroras? Okay.
yeah. The old Auroras. But that's not Squadron
Hmm.
42, you know? So that's like, yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, the latest package was the Pisces, like 10-year
Squadron 42
warranty.
Mark II. Sorry, continue.
Oh my god! Yep. And so, and then yeah, that's that. And then C Daddy is a CIG guy that actually pops into Star Jump Grimm's stream very
Mhm.
frequently. So they're always communicating with each other.
Yeah.
So I would believe him more than more than most. If
Yeah,
he's
more
saying
than
that.
random
Now,
Redditor. Okay. So
Well,
he's like
it's
Yeah.
also just like
legitimately a
the
CIG
yeah.
dev and like
Yeah.
trusted guy. Okay,
It's
cool.
also like the context of that like the specific wording of those three messages. If someone was trying to trick you, they wouldn't start with, "Wait, what the fuck? That's not what it's supposed to be." That's my
Yeah.
job, right? Like
Wait,
you would say
huh?
something else if you were lying.
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of when they were selling the blades. Some of the devs were like, "We didn't know that was happening."
Yeah,
Yeah, and then last thing, of course, like yeah, with now so much things to do and a lot of group play is starting to come together. Yeah, social tools definitely need to be on that high priority list, and definitely
Mhm.
to prevent the previous caller's situation. Yeah, blacklisting, and of course like some sort of rep system when like looking for, when you put a post something for looking for group, people can apply for looking for group and be like, okay, this guy, huh, that's weird, why does he have a bunch of 1 stars?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like
I
obviously that's the way to avoid it.
yeah,
Like you're not gonna add that guy to your party, you know?
yeah. Well, so
Yeah,
like now,
and with
like
this.
I was
Mhm.
just gonna say, we've gotten confirmation. Obviously, the social tools are being worked on this year, and now that we got the roadmap, well, the first roadmap for 4.8, and they've put
Mhm.
in most of the content for it, it feels like it's probably going to miss 4.8.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, I don't think we'll get it for this new piece of content that probably really, really wants it.
Yeah,
We'll have to see what it feels like later.
Yeah.
I do hope they put it at the same time as instancing, because that's when
Sure.
like group members can really start getting in there. And yeah, and also it's not uncommon for that to happen to that guy too during free flies, because anyone can create a free account
Yeah.
alt and then just basically be the plant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um I've actually had a guy that I friended, and he tried to do that to me too a couple free flies ago. And when I figured it out, I just went ahead and just ran my ship into the earth. Like, all right, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, like it goes both ways. It's the whole thing of like I can't believe somebody would do that in an alpha game with no purpose and no point
Mhm.
whatsoever. So like I don't blame anybody for just blowing themselves up too. But it's
Yeah.
just like it's wild, dude. Like I totally get it in a
Yeah.
game that's released. I do not get it in a game that's not. But yeah. Anything else you
Yeah,
want to talk
but
about before?
no, not really. Just overall, it's been one of the best times, and Sarsen has become a sort of almost daily game for me now. So
Nice.
good job,
All is
CIG,
well
for now.
Mhm.
for now.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Take care, guys.
All right, you two,
Cheers,
Warbot.
mate.
Be good, man. Good to talk to you again.
Bye bye.
Bye now. All right, and then we got Crusaya next. Crusaya, you
Chris,
are
how are you
in the
doing?
call.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
What do you want to talk about,
I
What was I
Crusaya?
talking about? Yeah.
uh,
Perfect.
I don't have much of an issue with CIG just like removing the buybacks for Squadron 42. I think
Mhm.
they have to do it, otherwise they're gonna deal with people reselling the packs for hundreds of dollars. And that looks bad for them at
Yes,
least.
but that's why you got to give the warnings, I guess. You can't just
Yeah.
remove it without saying anything. I don't think anybody here has an issue with them slowly rolling back buybacks over time. Some people might, but I certainly don't. It's just the surprise, which again, this dev was surprised, so it may not be
Yeah,
an intended thing.
it's either like accidental, or someone is doing a dodgy, and apparently that's all. It can only be those two things. It sounds like.
Yeah. And they got caught. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what a dodgy is, but I do. But it's like I've never heard that phrase before, so that's funny. Somebody doing a dodgy.
Just needs to be.
I'm gonna
more
use
Aussie.
that. I'm gonna use that
yeah,
one.
obviously. Yeah,
But-
he's doing a dodgy thing, right? So he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a dodgy, and
Exactly, I
and
like
if,
that.
If someone has like changed it in the back end without anyone knowing, so that they could make more money in the future, and this is the thing that they chose as well. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna get caught too. The internet, you always get caught eventually. You know.
hmm
So, yeah, don't be a piece of shit. So I think it's just a
Yeah.
mistake.
That's what it
Uh,
feels like.
Also, Croncy said something about the CRG should advertise the patches. That's
I don't think they
even
advertise them very much to the greater gaming community. It feels like a lot of the advertising is just for
Or
us.
on Star Citizen YouTube videos and things like that.
Yeah.
It's because there is a negative sentiment towards the game. They have
Oh,
taken too much to develop the game, and anywhere you go, you mention Star Citizen, and people will just jump saying scam. So they won't do it. It's not worth it. They
Yeah.
need to
I-
keep the reputation.
I'm gonna fight you a little bit on this. If this was maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, that would be the case. A lot of people do not know about this game, and they do not know about the history of the bad like production of this game and stuff. Now I imagine that would come to light if people did start to learn about the game.
But are we
So it's
talking
like
more
maybe you
about
still
Squadron
wait, but-
here, or are we talking about Star
Star
like
Citizen, Star Citizen.
because
Star
they have the advertising is going to be for Squadron coming up, and the beauty about
Yeah, no,
that is nobody knows what that is really. So if they just go,
true.
if they just go Squadron, one thing I can guarantee they're not going to do, they're not going to go from Star Citizen developer Chris Roberts, Squadron
no.
42. You know, they're not going to do that.
From the creators of the crowdfunding of Star
Yeah,
Citizen.
not the game, the crowdfunding of Star Citizen.
No, that's a different
Squadron
topic
42.
altogether. Because if you remember, we were talking about the advertising in regards to creators had like started to jump back onto Star Citizen. So it's like Star Citizen specifically. I think the advertising will wait for Squadron, because then you do have, well, hopefully something good that you can launch off of, right? And then
Yeah.
and then get it.
Yeah.
Until then, they're just going to advertise to us because we'll eat it up.
There is a very at least because I talk with Japanese, there's a very positive sentiment towards the game. They really like the game a lot.
China too, apparently, right? Like they were going over there, and they were the biggest events and all this stuff, and people were going nuts. They
It's a
were
cool
like
game.
reselling tickets to the free event. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were going
It's
nuts over
a
there.
cool game. It's why we're playing it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But,
So we're all excited
I think
for it.
I think we still probably we accurately and fairly use like that first 10 to 12 years of development and like certain aspects of the last few years of development. We certainly fairly like crap on it and use it to judge the state of the game and all that sort of stuff. But the wider gaming community probably won't. They're just going to judge it on what it is. You know?
Of course. The moment like if 4.27 is like, you know, the patch where like things get really, really good, and then you have your summits or whoever at the time is like the bigger streamers that give it a go and try it, and they're like, I'm having fun. That's all it's gonna take. It will never be us, like the old people that have been here forever aren't gonna grow this game. It's the random streamer that comes along and has an audience. Like, again, look at your biggest referral guys. They're not Star Citizen guys initially. except for board.
Mm.
They came from somewhere else. They showed the game to their audience, and they became Star Citizen guys. But they didn't grow those because of that, right? Necessarily. So yeah, those will be where the success is. But
Mhm.
if we're talking
I
about
think
like advertising at the Game Awards and stuff like that, I think they'll probably take some money and try and do that.
Yeah, for
I-
sure.
I think that their only chance is a Squadron. That's the turning point.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The
I think
real
most of
turning
us think
point.
that. We'll see.
And my last
I think
one,
it's also, it's not just quickly, it's not just most of us think that. I think a lot of us also just hope that because
Yeah.
we want Squadron to be good after this long.
I also never want to hear about Squadron again after it's out. I just want it to be done with.
Do I have to play
mean,
the first 41 games to understand Squadron 42?
I work on marketing, and that's what you really should. The logic tells you to do. It's a Squadron is a turning point. Otherwise, it will be
Mhm.
harder to get the community to like you. It will be
Yeah.
too much work.
Yeah.
And normally companies just drop it. They don't work on it. It's very rare. It's not like Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky. I don't think they will try it.
No.
But my last point is that the whole B paint, the black
Mhm.
paint, they don't really spend too much work fixing the shader because it's just a shader issue. Since I work on 3D, I know this.
Yeah.
That's just a shader. It's just
It makes me so
messing with
sad.
numbers. They're
I
just
want a
too
black
lazy.
misc paint, Crucia. They're never black. They're just gray.
If I can rip the model from the game and fix the paint, they can do it way easily because they have the tools.
I know, but they don't do it.
Yeah, it's not.
And then they
it's
still
not
sell them.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. This is. It's more though that like this is a actual stylistic choice that you just don't like.
I hate it. I hate
Rather-
it. I hate it.
I agree. It sucks. It's terrible, but it is definitely just a like. This is what we thought looked cool or would work with the MISC lineup. Right?
And to be fair with them now is I'm not making the mistake and buying the black paint, but if you go and look at the Starfarer black paint, that is matte black paint. And you put it on the ship, and that is not what it looks like. So they're a little bit better about advertising like what you're getting now, which is much more fair than it was before. So
That's there is also another issue. I really dislike that they don't make more armor with like the glass on the helmet, like black. You cannot see the face. In all armors, you can see the face of the character. Why? I don't get it. Why? Why they insist too much in showing the face of the characters?
no, I never thought about any of that.
You remember, like early this year, they released a cool looking armor. I don't remember which one.
Early
And
this year?
Yeah, it was on the lakes had they had the armor leak months before, but on the lakes it was with the visor was black, the glass was black, and with the armor release it was not black.
I can't remember. Maybe they were trying to catch a leaker.
I don't know. It was a pity or whatever. They
I
had
don't know.
shown their armors with the black visor, color visor, whatever. You cannot see through the visor. Why they don't make more armors like that? It look cool. It is very cool, but I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I just told somebody to shut the fuck up in the Twitch chat. They were trying to say that black ships will give you an advantage, so they shouldn't do it. Meanwhile, there's like camo on and white camo. Like, shut up, dude. Please.
What an
The Skybox-
advantage! If only there was some other way that I could target a player or like see that there's anything around.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, there's no like massive icons everywhere. Shut up.
Yeah.
All right, Crucia. I would say that's where we are for today, and then we'll maybe talk to you next week. So, or no, in a couple weeks.
No,
There's
not
no
next
show
week,
next
yeah.
week. But thanks for the
Good luck
call.
in your travels, Mike.
Yeah,
And
cheers.
fix.
Have fun.
Thank you. And fix my paints. Okay, if you could do it, do it.
Cool. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Cheers, mate.
I don't know why we added another caller to the waiting room. So we're gonna stop at Hellhawk. Just so
Yeah.
Final Storm knows that's where we were planning on stopping. All right, and then we got Amaimon. Amaimon, how you doing, man?
Mom on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Doing good. It's been a little while since I've been on.
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, it's going. I've actually been playing more Crimson Desert recently than Star Citizen, so
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
a little out of the loop with
Like most gamers.
7.1.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm too ADD to play just one game. But yeah, so for the whole B, I think my biggest issue that I have is just they continue to not test things in PTU before they release it. Like this
They-
one hasn't been as bad as other ships,
Yeah.
but you know, the landing gear not working, the engineering terminal doesn't show your armor, cooling, or anything like that. The values, which is kind of annoying.
It's a huge problem, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because they'll fix it later. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, like if those problems were in the PTU, would they fix them for live? Probably not.
no, they would, but
Yeah.
I don't think they would. I think they would focus.
But
like, they'd
live
focus on
is a PTU.
big issues.
Live just is the PTU now.
Sure.
Like that's just
Sure.
what it is, and like, yeah, they don't fix everything later, but they might fix. So it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But the game, like everything, is broken in this game, guys. Everything. So I don't think I don't agree with you. It is ridiculous that they sometimes treat the game as a release game and sometimes they don't. But this is one of those situations where it's like, I don't know. Like I can't keep watching them slowly drip feed stuff into the game, test everything for many hours and many days, and then
Yeah.
then always have the surprise bug where this didn't work until they got to a wider audience. Like everything was fine, they gets to a wider audience. Just ship it on live. We suffer for a week or two, and then they fix it. Like who the fuck
Yeah, that's
cares?
also a fair point.
That's my thought process now. Is like it's broken. Tell them what's broken. If they don't fix it after a certain period of time, then I think it's appropriate to be like, all right, this is bullshit. Because no matter, I know people will always, anytime I complain about anything, they say the same thing. It's an alpha. And you want to tell them to like, shut up. But, in a lot of ways, that's a totally valid argument. It's just stop playing this game like it's actually released. They keep wanting you to think that it is. It's not. It's just not,
Yeah.
But other than that, I think my biggest issue with it is just I don't understand the default loadout. Like it has so little power. And if you compare it with like the Hermes,
True.
it has the same exact components, same amount of coolers, same amount of everything, but it has one less power plant. Just why? It's an industrial ship. Why reduce the power? Right?
True. And I'm going to be honest, because you're just cargo hauling, I didn't feel the pain of having such low power, but I did look at that and go, well, that's an interesting choice. Because there was like no pips and I was so confused.
Yeah, I mean, once you upgrade the components, it's not as bad, but it just makes it even worse with the recent radar changes, right? If you take all the pips out of radar and just keep one pip, then okay, you can balance the power. But if you're trying to scan for anything, then yeah, it's not ideal. But I do love it. I have it because it's in an old pack that I have. I've intended to upgrade it. I was waiting for the price jump. Don't know what it's going to be upgraded to, but I have the Raylan. So my only hope is that the Raylan comes out as good. Like
It's gonna be a good year for cargo.
Right?
That's-
Hull B, Raylan, Ironclad.
Yeah, man. Like,
this is gonna be
dude,
nutty.
it's also with the Raylan, it's going to be so interesting because it should theoretically be the opposite of like what excited me so much about the Hull B is like it looks like a traditional cargo ship. This is meant to be like the most alien thing
as far
ever.
from traditional as it can.
Yeah, so let's see how they do that.
I just
right?
want it to be easy to load. Like,
yeah.
If they can nail
Surely
the
it will.
cargo, however they decided to redo it, then I will love it. Right now, I just have it as a CCU. It's not applied. If it
Mhm.
turns out to be useless, then I just keep the whole beat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also for the whole beat, the last thing that I had was with MISC ships, I just prefer the default paint. It's
Same.
the only ship
Same.
manufacturer that I like the default. I love that still look.
It looks.
I don't love it, but I just never liked any paint on a MISC chip.
Yeah, it looks in lore like because it's not CIG lazy. It looks in lore like lazy. It looks like it just came out of the production
But
factory.
they're high end, Croncy.
Ah, go so
Chrome
high.
equals high end. Chrome
It
equals
looks
high
like
end.
it looks like it should be a Drake ship in sometimes, right? Where it's just like they clearly didn't bother. I just don't like that aesthetic. I much prefer the Crusader paint aesthetics.
Yeah,
Although
the
even
steel
then, they
and
get a little
Meridian
better.
paints, I want them on as many ships as possible. I love it. But
Yeah,
that's just me.
Fair enough.
yeah,
But
for sure.
for the buyback thing, I really only had one point, and that's most of those buybacks that have Squadron in them are really old. And let's face it,
Yeah.
anyone that was here when those were available, like myself and you, Mike, and plenty of other people that play the game, are probably concierge.
Doesn't matter.
So they probably have Squadron in another pack, but still, I do agree that they should have announced it if it is intentional.
Yeah. There's also the extra bit of like if it's the package with Squadron that you can't like whatever the thing is, if it has Squadron in it and you can't buy it back, well then that also locks you out of that thing that you bought.
Yeah,
right?
just
So
remove
if it's
Squadron. Just take Squadron out of the packs.
there's
Leave the packs themselves alone.
There's
Don't take
extra
it. Like,
bits to it for
why
sure.
take it out? You bought it. It's like crazy. I don't know. You you are the reason that we're here today. They would have never made it here if you didn't buy the package that didn't exist and there was never anything. You gained nothing from it for 14 years. But you built the company. You built the office that they're sitting in. Like, what the fuck? Like, you have an argument here to be like, this is bullshit. Like,
the thing is
they have
my
to deliver.
point was I have
what
other
you get.
packs that have it.
No, I know that part.
So
I'm not yelling at you, just to be clear. I'm yelling at like anybody who is like defending this behavior that this is acceptable is a little bit weird. It is a situation where you did melt it though. But why did you melt it? Right? Because all I have is Star Citizen. You've done nothing for Squadron 42 like for me in years, and I need to know when it's coming back, and I will unmelt it and buy it back. I built your company, not me personally, but like we as a community built this company, and it's kind of fucked up if your plan is to just say nothing and remove it. They just have to say something, and that's totally fine.
Yeah,
Give everybody the heads up. If you weren't listening, then you don't care enough. And that's all. So yeah, that's my only issue here is like, don't forget where you fucking came from. You came from grassroots, $15 at a time. Guys, I bought an Arena Commander package. There was an Arena Commander package back in the day, right? Like those were real things. And like don't forget where we came from and they have in a lot of cases.
Can you imagine paying for Arena Commander now?
Yes. Gun Rush is the greatest.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna say honestly, yeah, but only if the player base was bigger.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely games out there that are basically just Squadron that people will pay $5 or $10 for.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That are basically Arena Commander on a Squadron.
Yeah. If Gun Rush was a game, I'd enjoy it. I was addicted to that for so long, and the racing and stuff. Hell yeah. But yeah, anything else on my mind?
Yeah, I only had one more thing, and that was just for Rockbreaker. So actually more of a question for you guys. I have not played it since the 7.1 update, so I don't know exactly what changes they made. But one of the issues I had in the beginning with 7.0 was you could barely fill a single prospector with the amount of ore that was getting. Even if you had it 80 to 100% completed before you crack the rock, and on top of that, there were a lot of ore spots that were popping up on my scanners, but I couldn't get to them. And when I tried to find where they were probably embedded in the rock somewhere. I ended up clipped into the actual mesh of the rock. Ship exploded, everything gone, and just yeah, I ult F4 right there.
Did you do the laser at 100%?
I did it once at 80 and once at 100, and both times I was not able to do like anything more
So
than just a full prospector.
You might not be able to do anything more than a full prospector, but in terms of like the rocks being like embedded and whatnot, the asteroid itself is like thin enough. If you do the 100%, that it's pretty much impossible for it to be embedded into the rock and
Where
like,
he
not be accessible.
where the rock was not accessible was probably the 80%. So it's like a cave system. And when you don't, like, each percentage that you open up, it opens more wings of the cave. So if you saw Civilium that you couldn't get to, it's because you didn't do it at 100%.
That's possible,
Yeah.
but still, the ship clipping into the mesh was an issue. But
Oh yeah,
my question
course.
was now, like, has the percent changed, like the amount of ore that you get now?
I don't think so.
I know
It's
you
probably
mentioned
probably
the-
less, but because there's no torite there, but
Mhm.
you're not going there for a lot of ore. You're going there for
Yeah.
high quality ore, and
the
a
other
more
ore is
guarantee.
also worth way more than the torite. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to remember as like it's the way that crafting works now. Mining is no longer about filling up your vehicle to the absolute max. That is just like the very, very far end. In fact, there's probably a world where they could bring down the numbers on like the mole and the prospector in terms of their max capacity. It is now all about like just quality.
Yep.
It's all quality over quantity now.
yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I love the rock breaker facilities. Like everything
Mm.
that they did, the progression through it, even taking the train through the rock and having the enemies on the side. The whole thing was just way more cinematic than like Onyx, and
Mhm.
it didn't have any of the jank, or at least I didn't experience any of the jank.
No, it's a good
with
experience.
the Onyx reactor room.
Yep.
Going to the reactor in Onyx and going through to reset all the power switches and then just have them clear and reset in the middle of it and having to do it over again. All the enemies respawn. Like I didn't experience any of that. So
Mhm.
it was a lot more fun to play.
Yeah, for sure.
But
All
yeah,
right,
that's,
Amima.
that's all I had.
Sounds good, man.
Oh, awesome. Well,
Thanks for your
very much
call.
the We appreciate
Yep.
it a ton.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Bye now.
Catch you, mate.
All right, before we go to the next call, I'm gonna rant like very, 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 very quickly. Like it was a Maimon that was like talking about how the ship came in and it sucks, it's broken, right? And it's like we're not PTU testing these things. The reason that they're doing this, guys, is because of leaks. So if you are supporting these leaks Discord channels, if you're going to these Discord channels, you're watching these videos, you're doing all this stuff, you have absolutely zero right to complain about any of this. If you've ever looked at a leak, if you've ever supported any of those things, if you've ever liked any of those videos, if you've ever subscribed to those channels, you did this. This is your fault. If you're complaining about ships coming in a bad state, it's because they get leaked way before CIG wants to share them with us. So now they share nothing, and then it pops into a patch and it's fucking broken every time. Your fault. There you go. So that's all I'll say on that. I'm sure we'll get some hate for that. Don't care. It is literally your fault. Do you have anything you want to say? Or you just do not want to be in this clip?
Nah, I actually don't agree. I don't think it's like I do think that leaks are bad. I don't think that they do this because of leaks. I think
Croncy,
I don't
they
think
do this because of leaks.
I don't think they do. Even if they said they do, I still wouldn't believe them. I think it is much more likely that it is even with leaks, you're going to get a sort of big hype from the release of it on live than you will like if it's in PTU. There's not going to be much difference from it being a leak and from someone actually going and testing.
I agree with I agree with that part. There's the logic that they're taking is not correct, because if you sold it during a PTU, it would still sell just as well because you're selling it to your active community that's engaged with the game. In my opinion, at least. So like I agree with you with that, but the decisions being made are because of leaks. but they shouldn't be. Is more what you're arguing.
No,
Like
not even that. It's like if you had it in the PTU, that means people are testing in the PTU, which means the leaks are irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think completely removing it from PTU means you get to have your big hype moment, regardless of like it does. It
Yeah.
means it stops leaks, but it also stops. Oh, hey, Bill's testing it, and he gets to check it out before I check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed with that.
So it's not even necessarily leaks as much as it is like, well, people having access to it before it does its full announcement takes away the specialness and the hype of the moment, which I imagine, because they have done it in the past, probably leads to less sales. So, yeah.
But to say that leaks are not part of it would be insane. It's definitely a part of the decision making.
Yeah, not that it's not part of it, but more that it's like
there's more to it than just leaks.
I think you'll remove. Yeah, I think you're removing a much bigger thing that probably actually impacts the sales a lot more.
Yeah, content creators in the PTU.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Get them out of there. Get them out of there.
Fuck them. They're the worst. Hey, that's the one thing I said with like leaks YouTube channels, things like that. The creators that were using leaks and stuff. I said, if you kick them out of the PTU, where all the money is made for every content creator,
they'll stop.
They would stop. But you know what CIG did? They invited leakers to Evo for 4.0. Way to go. Great job, guys. All right, let's bring in our last caller, Hellhawk.
Hellhawk, what do you think about leaking roofs? Because mine's still leaking. I'm actually going to rant now. We spent 40,000 Australian dollars fixing our roof, and we're still getting leaks.
Oh my God, that's insane. Okay. That's like...
It's in different spots now, which is fun.
That's unfortunate.
And it is admittedly less damaging, but it is still like, really? This is supposed to fix it.
Hey, at least it sounds like you're a homeowner. I'm still pissing away money on rent.
True.
So
True. Yeah.
I'll trade you positions.
Fair call.
I'll get you a couple 5-gallon buckets. We can help make it work.
How are we doing, Hellhawk? Let's talk Star Citizen.
We are we're doing. Played a lot more the last couple weeks than I have in the last like 2 years.
Yep.
But as far as the topics that we had today, you know, the first one, why would you play tactical strike groups more than a couple times? I think that goes for pretty much every event. And
it does, yeah. I think the biggest thing is those other ones had rewards that would work for the amount of people that played and made them enjoyable and whatnot. But this is now like a different beast. And it's like, how do you...
Right.
Just previous events, we had these like Wicklow rewards, and some... Like in the last like year, they were like, all right, here's a driving force behind doing some of these things. Now, yeah, not so much. I've turned up his volume, guys. He hasn't spoken yet.
Oh, sorry.
No, I got you. I got you.
Okay. I think in general, it's now that we're seeing we have a fair amount of faction specific content in game. It's time to start adding the faction reward store and allowing us to, you know, how right now you can get these contracts, or sorry, these blueprints if you do these contracts. It's time to be like, hey, once you're done, you get rep, and then you go to the faction store and you buy the blueprint you want instead of this RNG crap that we're stuck with. Or you know, ship skins, armor skins, weapon skins. Maybe at the high end, the UE Navy is giving you a tricked out weapon that there's no way to actually craft. You know, that's the kind of thing that is going to keep people coming back. Because I never did the ADS facility stuff. I've been really diving into that because it is kind of interesting. But unless they have that, I'm not going to waste my time just doing it over and over and over again for a random chancel blueprint I don't care about. And then,
well, I mean, of course. To be fair, you did specify just then random chance at a blueprint you don't care about. I think that's the big thing. A random chance at a blueprint that you will care about, you'll do that all day, right? So that's my question is, what is that going to be? Because people will grind it, even if it's an RNG, even if it's like super, like, you know, Wicklow type thing where it's like bring 100 of these things that only spawn once per mission or whatever. as long as the reward is worth it to that player. And you want to, because there's so many people involved when you do this content, you want to make it appeal to as many players as possible. So what is that? What is that thing that appeals to as many players as possible and makes them want to grind it over and over again?
They've never nailed group rewards. The closest thing
Right.
is Rockbreaker right now.
Yeah.
Well,
because they're
but do you
separate
think that
rocks.
do you think the best way to do that is the RNG, or say you
Not
get
necessarily.
10
no.
faction?
I was just using that as like a people would.
Right.
There's tons of different ways you could do this.
Oh, they're doing it right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I like reputation stuff. I find that really interesting. I don't hate RNG as long as it's usually not like my main thing. So if it's like I am mostly going for this, but then there's an RNG chance of something cool happening, I'm usually pretty happy with that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the other thing that would, again, we're not talking like 1.0, but we're talking short term. Another thing they could do for the event, for the new one that they're coming out with, is make unique salvage from the Vandal ships. That refines
And they
into
have
something.
talked. They have talked about Vandal ships
Va-
having
You can
alien
get
metals or something like
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
when
say
we
you can get
salvage.
Vandal metal pieces in the Vandal missions in Nyx. You
Yeah,
get
maybe there's
Vandal metal plating.
maybe there's a boss that drops a specific weapon variant too that you can't get unless you do the mission and you blow them up or you disable them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's things they could do there, but I think in general too that I don't know, I need to start seeing the faction stuff, because right now there's so many
Yeah.
missions that are available and I don't care. There's not really a point for most of it.
It's because yeah, the rewards at the end of factions right now are still basically just money. You can argue that like some of the rewards are blueprints, but they're not, because you can just group up with a group of 50 or 60 people that are doing all the blueprint missions. So it's
Yeah,
like there's no the incentive to doing the incentive to doing missions is non-existent right now, really.
Right.
So yeah, it's just the rewards. The rewards are the problem, in my
Right.
opinion.
Yep. Other than that, try the hull B. It still annoys the hell out of me that they're putting the defense turret on the front of the ship instead of the back. I'm not charging into battle in my hull B, but whatever. No one's going to use that thing anyways. As far as the turret, not the ship.
Yeah. The ship's
and
getting
then-
used for sure.
Yeah, the ship's getting used. It's one of the best set up cargo ships. I'm curious to see what the Ironclad comes through with. I feel like that might be the park a prospector on it and then go do mining things and then drop your bags off. So that's the one I'm really excited for.
I also think the Ironclad will actually kill the C2.
Yes.
Like, actually, factually, depending on like what's its price in concept, the Ironclad.
Oh,
5 something.
550.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
550.
that's obviously still a bit big, more than the C2, but like people will just that's their last ship that they'll get, right? Like that's the peak of their cargo. And it fulfills every role the C2 does, and it'll do it better because it would have been designed with current cargo like mechanics in mind.
Yeah,
but it still has the same problem with that front door, tall, with the.
Well, it might not. That's what I'm saying. Like they
with
might
the
have
top,
fixed
with the
that,
top.
right?
Well, I don't know. It might still have that weakness, but it's going to be interesting to see.
Tractor beam placement will matter more than anything on this ship.
Yep.
Yes. I'm curious to see how it stacks up against the Liberator when that launches 5 years from now.
Oh no, I hate this. This is not you, but this is everyone that keeps comparing the Liberator with these things. The Liberator is a ferry. It is a ferry for ships. It is not a cargo ship. It is a ferry. They are completely different,
just have a
and
flat
it's also
surface.
stupid.
But they're all
stupid.
So the Liberator was concepted when you couldn't jump through the jump point with a fighter, right? So you're right. That's actually why I grabbed one, because I wanted to be able to ferry people through. But now that they put the kibosh on that, it's going to be, I'm going to land my prospector on it. I'm going to refuel, rearm, drop off bags. So it's like.
But I can do that on anything now. That's coming in the next patch.
I know.
So they just keep killing that ship over and over again. They just keep beating it dead.
Unless they make it bigger, which they've made every ship bigger.
Yeah.
I think it's dead, but like again, we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah.
I
We'll
also
see where
just
they're
I
at.
hate the Liberator because I had a Valkyrie Liberator and then they named another airborne ship the Liberator. That's so stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, they
Anyway.
could have picked a different name choice. But otherwise, the only other issue that I'm seeing with like, I'm kind of worried for how it's going is actually the way they've set up crafting.
Mm.
I really think that quality, and I was talking to someone in the group, it was Pastry, I think.
Mhm.
Quality needs to be tied to the amount of material that you get and not the actual quality of the rock. The quality as it stands now should be tied to alloys. So if I mix, titanium and something else, that's your tier 2 alloy. If I mix Ceruleum with something else, there's your tier 4. Oh, and hey, I have this material over here that I refined, and that's my modifier that takes it to that tier 5. So you can still do quality, but it pisses me off that I'm in a mining ship and I'm still spending more time pinging for shit than I am mining,
Yeah.
which is still, it's better than it was, but it's still awful. And
It's
I want to
the
be
endless
mining.
discussion that they have never solved, and you're
Yep.
not wrong, but we have beat this one to death, and if they don't do anything
Yeah,
about
I
it,
know.
they're just fucked, and they deserve to fail if they don't deal with this issue, right?
Yep. Well, we
That's
can only
my
hope.
feelings about it now.
Yep. And then my last thing is I kind of want to see them start using the unverified a little bit more. I'd love to see some of these rewards push over to unverified contracts for like Vaughn, where the reward is like a tricked out sniper rifle or a stealth setup for your ship. Something like that. Something to incentivize you to do the other missions as well. But that's pretty much all I had. Oh, and the buyback thing. If they come out and say that they plan to do this and they didn't give anyone a heads up, that doesn't make any sense right before a major sale. They're going to screw themselves because why would I risk it if I'm not sure I want to ship?
Yep.
To buy it, melt it. So
that's how I feel now.
I
If I
hope that-
can't melt something, why would I buy it?
right. And now, when the game releases, they come out and say, "Hey, you got 6 months to make your final decisions." Totally fine with that, but you got to give people a heads up and time to make their choices, because this is what they set up. Now, the buyback store was their idea. That's why people kept spending money on the game.
Yep, 100%.
But that's all I got.
All right, Hellhawk.
You guys enjoy your weekend.
Cheers for the call.
You too, buddy. All right,
Yeah,
bye
you
now.
too.
All right, both Croncy and I are definitely fading. So,
And I've still got to play an hour of Minecraft.
so we're. Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. That's true. So I'm rating into you. Okay, perfect. So guys, that's where we'll end the show today. We thank you. Appreciate it. Let us know what you thought about any of this stuff, and hit the like button, subscribe to us. Check out Croncy if you guys are watching on my channel. We're going to go right over there. So the usual is, spend some time there, hang out, all that stuff. All right. If you guys are watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, come over and check out Croncy on Twitch, because he's got a sponsor going on. And that, guys, being a viewer in the chat is everything to these sponsors, okay? It matters. View count matters. So just open the channel, hang out, and leave if you can't be here. It's no big deal. But yeah.
Also, this game's finished. We can compare
a finished game. Crazy, to an unfinished game. Weird, crazy. Now, the buyback thing, again, hopefully no drama. Hopefully it's just a thing, and maybe we'll hear about it because it's the weekend, right? So maybe we'll hear about it during the week, and we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. And don't forget to
not watch next week because we're off next week. But also
answer the call for sure. But yeah, no show next week. Okay, guys? We'll be back in 2.